Today, we're not just talking about a music career. We're going way deeper. We're going to deconstruct the entire architecture, the system behind one of the most legendary minds in music. This is the Dre blueprint. Let's get into it.
You know, it's the one question that every single creator asks themselves. What's that invisible line? The one that separates a temporary hit from a timeless classic. What makes something good versus something truly iconic? Well, the answer isn't some magic bolt of lightning. It's not luck. It's actually something way more intense, way more obsessive.
And there it is. That's the secret. It's not in the first spark of an idea. It's in the 100th time you try to perfect it. It's that relentless, almost insane refinement of a single moment until it becomes undeniable. This is the core idea we're unpacking today. The raw power of just sheer repetitive willpower.
And you gotta understand, that obsession with repetition wasn't just some creative quirk. For Dr. Dre, it was a war, a quiet, personal war against the biggest enemy of any great legacy, just being average. This was never about just making hit songs. It was about building a whole new world of sound.
Okay, picture this. It's 1992. You're in a dark, state-of-the-art studio. Millions of dollars of gear all around you. But all of that power, all that tech, is focused on one tiny thing, a 3-second bass loop for the album The Chronic. While everyone else was out chasing the next trend, Dre was on this microscopic hunt for one specific sound, a frequency he just knew could physically move people and in doing so, change everything.
And that moment, that's the perfect illustration of what we're calling the Dre blueprint. See, it's not a mood, it's a system. It's a core belief that you don't just get lucky and become iconic. No, you build it. Piece by painful piece through the willpower to do something again and again and again until it's perfect. But an obsession this deep, it doesn't just come from nowhere. It was forged in fire.
To really get this obsession, we have to go back, way back. We have to go to Compton, where a really tough environment became this unlikely lab that shaped one of the most powerful ears in music history.
So, before he was the legendary Dr. Dre, he was Andre Young, a student living in two totally different worlds. In the academic world, well, he was failing. Not because he was lazy, but because his brain was already somewhere else, constantly mixing and analyzing the sounds of the world around him. But in his other world, the world of sound, he was a genius. He'd take apart old soul records, not just to find a sample, but to literally reverse engineer their DNA. He wanted to know why a James Brown kick drum felt the way it did. The club, the turntables, that was his real school.
In his early days, he was in the Class Wreckin Cru, and a lot of the hardcore rappers just dismissed him. They saw him as this DJ in a glittery suit. But growing up surrounded by the chaos, the noise of Compton, he figured out that the only way to escape it was to create a sound so clean, so powerful, it carved out its own space. He didn't have money for the best gear, so he had to build his most valuable asset, an expensive ear. This incredible ability to hear all the little details and flaws that nobody else noticed. And that taught him something crucial. A timeless song isn't just about a feeling. It's a series of really high-stakes, deliberate, technical choices.
And all of this led him to this one massive realization that would change his entire career. He realized that street credibility, the thing everyone was chasing, was just a temporary trend. But fidelity, the pure, technical, undeniable quality of the sound itself, now that was a global currency. That was permanent. And that one insight became the foundation for everything he built next.
And this idea, it wasn't just a business plan. It grew into his core philosophy. It became the guiding light for every single decision he'd make in the studio from that day forward.
He called it the sonic standard. And the whole philosophy is that music is a physical thing. The bass, the kick drum, you're not just supposed to hear those in your ears, you're supposed to feel them in your chest, in your bones. So because of that, he started living by one unbreakable rule. Quality is the only thing you absolutely cannot ignore. You can argue about lyrics, you can hate a trend, but you can't ignore a sound that physically moves.
So how do you actually apply that standard? Well, that's what we can call layered perfectionism. And this, my friends, is where the real hard work kicks in. It's the simple strategy of being your own toughest critic. It means you check every single layer of a song, the kick, the snare, the vocal, and you refuse, absolutely refuse to move on until each one is perfect by itself, long before you even think about putting them all together.
This entire mindset is built on a belief in absolute quality control. And this quote just says it all. Every single track that leaves his studio has his name on it forever. He gets that his legacy is only as strong as the weakest thing he's ever released.
It's why he's famous for scrapping entire albums. We're talking multi-million-dollar projects if they just don't meet his impossible standard.
Okay, so a big philosophy like that is great, but what does it actually look like in the studio? This is where we see how Dre isn't just making music, he's literally engineering emotion through these really specific daily habits. This number, 100. It pretty much says it all. It stands for the most famous or maybe infamous part of his whole system. And it's not just a number. It's a standard. It's a promise to push way past the point of exhaustion, to find something nobody else can.
His whole philosophy really breaks down into a system you can follow. First, there's the 100-take rule. He'll get a legend like Eminem to record one single line dozens, maybe hundreds of times until the rhythm of the words locks into the beat with like mathematical precision. Then you got the low-end audit. He'll spend days, just tuning the bass and the kick, making sure those low frequencies hit your chest with a very specific physical force. And finally, the apprentice master loops. This is just the culture of his studio, a constant, repetitive cycle of work where the goal isn't just to make a hit. The goal is to discover a secret frequency, a new texture of sound that no one's ever heard before. It's a laboratory.
So a system this demanding, this obsessive, it has to lead somewhere big, right? Oh, it absolutely did. The payoff for this blueprint wasn't just a bunch of hit records. It was the creation of a whole sonic empire that completely reshaped the industry. I mean, just look at this trajectory. In the 80s, people dismissed him as just a technician. By the 90s, with albums like The Chronic, he was the undisputed architect of the entire West Coast sound. In the 2000s, his production was the gold standard for literally everyone. And then by the 2010s, with Beats by Dre, he took that same sonic standard and turned it into a global brand, making him hip-hop's first billionaire. The biggest takeaway from his whole legacy is this one powerful principle. He proved that repetition is not a sign that you're out of ideas. It's a weapon. It's the process you use to take something good and you refine it. You polish it, you strengthen it, until it is absolutely undeniably iconic. It's how an obsession with a perfect bass sound can turn into a pair of headphones that are worth more than most record labels.
And this is the point where Dr. Dre's story stops being about him and it starts being about us. His journey is a blueprint, not just for music, but for building anything that lasts. It's really about how we can take this mindset and apply it to our own work, to our own lives.
So this is the question that this whole thing leads to, and I'm asking you directly. In your work, in your projects, in your life, where are you settling for the 5th take, or maybe the 10th, when you know deep down that the 100th take is sitting right there, waiting to unlock a whole new level of greatness?
Here's how you can start. Step 1, just find one area, one task where you know you've been settling for good enough. Step 2, ask yourself a really simple question. What would one more round of intense, focused repetition do right here? How could that push this from just good to iconic? And finally, step 3, make a real decision to raise your personal standard. Because when your standard gets high enough, you're not competing with other people anymore. You become the benchmark they measure themselves against.
At the end of the day, Dr. Dre's story teaches us that genius isn't some lightning strike. It's forged, it's built, day by day, take by take, in the fire of relentless repetition. And the standard you set for yourself, that refusal to settle for average, that's the code. It's the operating system that will decide how great you can truly be. So, what's your standard going to be?